Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. I'm George Connelly with Scratch Golf Tips. Today we're talking about the golf swing of Chris Kirk. If you follow professional golf at all, you've likely heard the name fairly recently. He's had a pretty long career, 38 years old, and recently won the 2024 Century. Last year he won the Honda back in 2023. A lot to learn from a golf swing like Chris Kirk's, so let's break it down. The first thing that I always notice when looking at Chris Kirk's swing is the in-to-out path. Chris Kirk hits a very pronounced draw. A lot of the basic drawers on the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, they hit a fairly tight, controlled draw. That's kind of what they like to turn to. With Chris Kirk, he really plays his best when he's hitting a very large, pronounced draw. The beauty of it is Chris Kirk is so good at this draw. This in-to-out path really allows him to get those hands through the ball. If his wrists can stay active and close that club face down, he definitely draws the ball more than most, but because he's honed it in so well and he's so controlled, he can certainly pull it off and win professional golf tournaments. Also, if you look at Chris Kirk's positioning in the setup, you may notice that his entire body kind of stands open to the target. And this is something that his coach, Scott Hamilton, worked with him on. And they basically understood that he has a pretty dramatic in-to-out path, swing path through the golf ball. And they decided, hey, let's not change that. Let's not make that more neutral. Let's just open up the body a little bit during our setup so that naturally through the ball, Kirk will be a little bit more neutral. Now, this is something that a lot of people can learn from. It's not always necessary to completely change your swing or, overhaul some of your mechanics when there are some fairly simple things that you can do with your setup, your body alignment, your grip, posture. There are a lot of different things that you can work on and work towards without changing any of the technicalities or any of the motions of your golf swing. This is a great example of it. Another very notable aspect of Chris Kirk's golf swing is the tempo and the move at the top. Some people say Chris Kirk has a full pause. Some people say it's just very slow. Whatever it may be, he has a very smooth and deliberate tempo. There's a great quote that Chris Kirk said to Golf Digest many years back where he says, "I've been told I have a slow tempo. I don't walk fast, don't do anything fast, and my swing shows that." I love Kirk's demeanor on the golf course. He just seems like he's out for a leisurely round, even when he's playing with the lead on the back nine on a Sunday in a big golf tournament. He does everything very deliberately. He doesn't rush anything. He takes his time walking from shot to shot. He takes his time thinking about a shot, and of course, within the golf swing, he takes his time taking that club back. For many golfers, they could really benefit from having a slower takeaway. The longer that you take that club away from your body and bring it to the top of your backswing, the more time you're giving the rest of your body to sync up. A lot of people get really quick and they kind of spin out their upper body and begin the downswing too fast. And when you do that, your upper body starts to get at the ball while your lower body and your hips haven't finished rotating. You get disconnected, all kinds of bad things can happen. I additionally think that many golfers can really benefit from just walking a little bit more slow, even if you're in a golf cart. When you get out of the cart, take your time looking at all of your options and making your club choice, making your shot selection. I think that when a lot of golfers maybe hit a ball out of bounds and their back's up against the wall, all they're thinking about is, how do I make birdie? How can I string together a bunch of pars to really save this round? And they get ahead of themselves mentally. And oftentimes, if you get really ahead of yourself mentally, you're going to do everything a little bit faster. So just work on slowing things down. Even if we're not talking about the golf swing, walk a little bit slower. Just be more calm. The more calm you are between shots, the more calm you'll be over the golf ball. And the final thing that I want to mention about Chris Kirk's golf swing that I think a lot of people can benefit from in looking at his career is Chris Kirk hits that big draw, as I mentioned earlier, better than almost anybody. He turns to it all the time. He has great command over that ball flight. However, when he came out onto the PGA Tour and the pro scene fairly young, this was probably 14, 15 years ago, he really tried to work a little fade, work a smaller draw, and he overcomplicated things, and he really lost his swing and he lost his results. He was not playing good golf because he was trying to force that fade. So if you have a good ball flight and you can consistently rely on it, feel comfortable with it, and it's consistent, stick to it. Don't try and overcomplicate things. If you have a really good ball flight, you can continuously turn to it on the golf course. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you can use some of these fundamentals that have made Chris Kirk a really big professional success. 6 PGA Tour wins is nothing to scoff at. He's had a great career. Hopefully Hopefully he's got a couple more ahead of him. Please leave any questions or comments in the comment section down below. As always, thank you all very much for watching. Play well and take care.